Going live. I'm live. There I am. Hello. Let's see. Chat rules. Please be over the age of 17 and please be kind to one another. Ta-da! And let's see here. Let me pop out my chat and stick it over here. Hi, everybody. I'm here. I'm here. And let's bring that down and that over there so it all fits. I don't. There I go already. I don't know who's here because I can't see any chat moving. But hello, everybody. It's Christine. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm here. How is everybody on this beautiful coloring Sunday? Hello, Joey. Yay, first in the house that I see. How are you, my dear? Hello, Lorena. I don't believe I've seen you here, but hello and welcome very, very much. My name is Christine, and I am decidedly blue today. Let me see if I can fix that. I didn't pull up the camera. The first time I set it up and went live, I didn't realize I still had the wrapping on the camera, and I got nothing but a black screenshot. So, excuse me, I had to do it over again. Oh, let me go to the advanced. Sorry, let me turn off autofocus and the auto white balance, and that ought to automatically make me warmer. There we go. Hello, Louise. Nice to see you. Now, I was reading something, Louise, that you had going on, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember it being happy and me saying, yay. It was sometime yesterday. Oh my goodness, I've lost complete track of what day it is. And it's raining again, or it's getting ready to rain again. It has rained every 12 hours for that's it, the new super colors. About every 12 hours for the last, I don't know how long. And I discombobulated my coffee heater over here, and I don't remember what the ideal temperature is. So I'm playing with it. Anyway, how is everybody? Did y'all have a good week? I'm trying very hard to not let myself get too winded here. Although I'm not doing anything to get winded, for heaven's sakes. Just sort of the remnants of whatever it was that I had. I'm pretty sure it was not the virus. Boy, I'm getting inundated with messages. Sorry here. And I know that there's a couple of other people that were showing up live. Susie, hello, my dear. Hello, hello. And I am so glad to see you. And how are things over there in Scotland? Are you doing well up there? And I know that the whole of the UK is under lockdown yet again. And the lockdown that isn't a lockdown, Sammy said. I don't know what that meant, but I admit that I have sort of been concentrating on American news these days and not paying enough attention to the world news. I mean, I just wish we would well, y'all know what I wish, so I won't say anything. You had rain mixed with little ice pellets. Yuck. Oh, we call that sleet. I'm trying to remember where you are, Joey. If I remember, that's fairly unusual for your area of the States, isn't it? Hello, Daryl Lynn. And hi, everybody. Look at what we're going to do today. We're going to go back and we're going to revisit this book and this particular picture that we did start with the Arteza real brush pens. And I want to go back because I got to looking at the front of this book. And do you see how when they colored it, they used just basically two contrasting but complementary colors. Like, for instance, orange and turquoise are both contrasting and complementary. The gold and the pink are the same thing. And so I got to looking at this castle, and I decided that I wanted to make a pink castle with blah, blah, the pink castle with the brown roofs. And then, of course, I wanted to, sort of address again the fact that when I colored this the first time, it was the first time I was using the real brush pens in this particular book. So it was a learning experience, and and whether or not it was going to bleed through. The paper is excellent, but it does require a little bit of TLC. Okay, so you aren't in lockdown yet. Only England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. You're doing fine, still recovering from your surgery. So you're inside at home. Okay, good. All right, well, at least we know that you're safe. And I'm assuming that your recovery is going along okay. And people aren't taking much notice of the lockdown. Only difference is in shops and businesses are closed. Yeah, we're seeing an awful lot of that. I just hope that it doesn't come back to sort of bite them in the butt. It's all well and good until somebody that you know and love gets sick. You can say, well, I'm just not going to do it, or the cure can't be worse than the sickness. But until you're burying the people that you love, it's kind of it's pretty easy to say, not so easy to do. I've got a couple of people that I know of that that have actually had it, and one quite nearly didn't survive. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Who do you believe? Is it as bad? Is it just not as bad? Do you want to be the one responsible for bringing it home to somebody you love? That kind of thing. So I don't know. Everybody has to make, it's all about personal responsibility, and everybody has to make their own choices in this life. Myself included. So okay, we'll just go from there. I want to brighten up this color just a little bit. I'm looking sort of washed out. I don't like washed out. That's better. Hi, Barb. Look what we're coloring in. Barb is the one who sent me this book. And Shara, should she choose to show up today, is the one that sent the Arteza real brush pens. So without further ado, let's get started. Y'all know that I love my water mediums. I have not yet swatched the Monarchs for the Arteza or the Black Widows, but I want to do those in the next couple of weeks. That we'll be working back with colored pencils instead of just the water. So I don't want you guys to get sick of the water. All right. This is another one of the hidden object coloring books. So there are bizarre things that are, in these pictures. I'm just going to color my way around them. Let's see, we can get down here, get a little better focus. And how am I feeling? Um, it depends, Mona, on what day it is, and what I've been doing. I do believe that they say that when you have trouble breathing, that a couple of things that you need to do are be sure not to let anything settle in your lungs. So moving is better than sleeping. What I would rather do is sleep, but what I force myself to do is get up and move. And when I do, I actually feel better. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so, if I get up and I take the hot shower and I get dressed and I, you know, and do things, I feel a little bit better. And if I sort of, go into the, oh, it's, I'll just wing it today kind of thing. Sorry, I'm just messing about with the focus. Hopefully that's a little better. Well, thank you. I do feel like I'm breathing a little better, which is really important. And then, of course, this week, I don't know if it was. I don't know if I said anything last week or if it was this week. But my best friend has had my best friend of literally 47 years has had some health issues recently, and a new one popped up that she didn't even tell me about, and but she finally has posted on Facebook to the rest of her friends from whom and business associates from whom she'd been keeping all of this. She's got leukemia, for heaven's sakes, and she's been keeping it a secret from a lot of people for a lot of time, and but she hadn't even told me that. So as I'm, worrying about sort of my own health at this point in time, she's developed a yet another um, tumor in her arm that had to be surgically removed, and it's just like you just sort of you reach a point and you go 2020, that's enough. That's enough. Well, it's not sad. It is sad, yes. I mean, it's sad that it's happening. It's, I mean, but it's part of life. That's the thing about it is that we deal with, we have to deal with stuff that goes on. And whether we're the person going through it or the friend who loves them, we don't get a choice in the matter. We have to deal with it. We got to face it head on and deal with it. I have to actually look at what my life will be like or might be like if one or the other of us, being her or me, isn't here anymore. And but then I look at that, and we both are sort of the same attitude. We carry each other in one another's hearts. So our and we and I should add here that we have not physically seen one another in over 20 years. I mean, been in the same room. We video chatted. We've talked on the phone for hours, literally hours and hours and hours. But we haven't physically seen one another in 20 years. And but it would we would know. We would know. So, oh, thank you, Daryl Lynn. That actually means the world to me. It will definitely mean the world to her. Um, with a stomach tumor and had it removed. So yes, you just have to do what is right, and you have to do what is right for you. Like she and I are arguing right now because she wants me to go to the doctor, and get some sort of an official diagnosis that says that I have, something emphysema or COPD or, whatever. And I'm like, no. And, because if I have any of those things, I don't want to know. And B, if I have any of those things, it doesn't really matter because I'm really not going to fight with it anyway. I have I have a way of being in the world, and it does not involve, it doesn't not involve looking after my health. It does involve looking after my health, but it does have to do with staying away from doctors um, who are just going to give me a pill for something. And no, sorry, wrong girl. And I don't know why I'm like that. I just am. Um, so we're currently at odds. She's trying to win, and I'm trying to hold her off. Okay, so I've decided that I want my castle to be pink, right? And I am going to go ahead and flat color it on the idea that, and remember that this is a water medium. So it is immediately going to go down darker. And in this particular case, just a tiny bit more orange than it actually is. This looks very orange on there, but it isn't. It's pink. It's supposed to be pink. It's bubblegum pink. Make sure oh no, it's not. I want the bubble bath pink. Oh my goodness, and I'm using the bubblegum pink. Oh my goodness, the world, it's going to come to an end. This is the bubble bath pink. Okay. And you're going to be lurking while you FaceTime with your boys. Okay, good. Good. Okay, I love the idea of you FaceTiming with your kids. 7 hours, one way to New York for the surgery, and you're home and healing now. Wow, so you had it done here. Okay. Well, I guess that now I can't brag about what wonderful healthcare you guys have if you're gonna come here for your surgery. Because we can always add additional stuff. Oh, look, that's much more pink. Okay. And also this paper. And Barb, did you find this when you were working in this book? Did you find that the water has a tendency to absorb a little bit splotchy, and that's why you kind of end up having to go over it 2 or 3 times? I'm actually going to go in there as well, because we can go after that with, what is that song, Little Pink Castles? Wasn't there a John Mellencamp song? And I'm going to go a gray in there, but I want to let that dry first. So this is really just a base coat that I'm putting on right now of this pink, and hopefully it is the lightest of the pinks in the Arteza set. This one right here. And I'm hoping that it dries that way, because otherwise it's pretty dark right now. And so I guess what I want you guys to sort of take away from this is is that you can think outside the, the, ooh, think outside the normal box. I just wish that the weather would decide what it wants to do. Cold, hot. Right now it is blustery, but it's warm outside again. Where the last couple days it's been, cooler, but dry, and I could really breathe quite well. I told her, my friend, I said, if you really want to, if you really want me to do that, okay, so this, and now I want to go to, just to give you an idea what I mean here is, actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and go all the way over both of those, because then I can use the browns. I'm going to go back into my sort of pretty browns, and I'm trying to remember what we used here. I think it was a chocolate on one side, even though that's this color. And so this is sort of a brown. I'm just going to put this in on the edge. Now remember that these are water, so they will blend even after the fact. So I can do that, and then I can switch to something lighter, like, say, a ginger or a tawny. There's the ginger. And it'll blend into each other. So you get that sort of lighter feeling. Now, it's really hard to see right now because it's wet, and I can now also do a little color correcting on that. Sharpen up that line. Make that. And I had forgotten that the sun is actually back here. So I still need to sort of lighten this up. And I think what I'll end up doing is using a gel pen to lighten this edge to add like that sun, that sun catching it kind of thing. But I guess here's what I want to say is not everything has to be fancy blends and all of that. And even with that mistake that I made on the bubble gum pink and the bubble bath pink, look at what a pretty sort of contrast that is. Just that sort of step difference. So maybe that can be one of those mistakes that turns out to be a nice art surprise. So, like maybe this one sort of faces downward. So maybe it could be the orange on this one, just sort of tie it in so there's little bits of color that are the same but different, between these two, which then sort of ties the error together, and it's not a mistake. And then it makes it look like you've done something on purpose. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Kathy, okay. They're approaching us fast. Wait a second. Wait. Kathy's got, goodness, onto the cane now. What about you? Huh. Wait. Oh. Knee surgery. Yes? No. I don't remember. I gotta look. Hello, Melinda. Oh my goodness. Hello. Yeah, okay. Yes, you did. Okay. Hi, Kathy, by the way. And hi to everyone who is here that I did not say hello to individually as you came in that may have greeted me. That's right, your second hip surgery. And so now you're going to get up on the cane. All right, now I am fully cognizant. All right. And that's great news. I know that can be very painful. So kudos to you for going through it, and I hope that you will be, jumping tall buildings. Excuse me. Well, maybe not jumping tall buildings, but you know what I mean. Let's see. So I'm doing it on purpose. I'm sort of mixing up those two, the bubble gum pink and the bubble bath pink. Just because I think it's a cool look. And then maybe we'll even add a little bit of the brown down here. Just for the contrast value. Okay. Now this. Okay. Wait a second. Where is my chocolate? I've lost my chocolate, everybody. Oh dear. If we lose our chocolate, the world may come to an end. Oh, I did want to say. So today I found a roll of paper towels in the back of the where I keep the paper towels, and I was just delighted because, of course, we are at a point now where people are starting to hoard again. And I can make a laugh. I can. I think that's funny. It held that comment. Kathy had held that comment. I'm not quite sure why. But of course, since I was an accidental hoarder the last time, I still have toilet paper left from the when we did all of this in December or in April. Okay. So when you add that little bit of chocolate brown to the edges and the lighter, it sort of gives I mean, even though the light source is technically behind, it's okay. It's okay. And let's see here. We could probably, those are bubbles of some kind. So I don't want to, but I could do the little door jambs. And the darker chocolate. These real brush pens have a lovely fine points. And so you can really get in there and and get into some of these little teensy tiny areas. Keep in mind that you're just after a little contrast here. And some of these are very, very hard. You almost need a magnifying glass to do them. But the devil is in the details, right? And you just add little bits and bobs here and there until you end up with a little pink castle on the side of the hill here. Doesn't have to be shaded beautifully or perfectly or anything else, although if you wanted to, you could choose a sort of a darker pink. I think that it might be sort of gilding the lily, though. Unless it was just a very, very gray type, almost clear color. I don't know. Thank you. Makes me, well, see, that is what I want. I want you guys to get your tools out and play with the things that play with the things that make you happy. After all, you love them enough to buy them, right? This is Payne's Gray, and I just want to see what it looks like if I use a little bit of that in the windows, Could be that it's just a little bit blue, but I think that with that pink, it sort of works. I'm really more just after the contrast than anything else. Just trying to fill it in with color. I'll tell you what you wouldn't want to do is get down on top of this with a microscope or with a magnifying glass because you'd see all the little mistakes I'm making. But that's okay because you know what? The only people who know that those mistakes are there are us who watched me do it. Otherwise, somebody who comes along years from now and looks at this is going to go, oh, that's a cute picture. At least I hope so. I don't like the fact that she put in black, right, in there. Because it makes me want to darken all that up and put black in other places. And I think that if I start with black, I'm going to end up messing it up. Let me start, what was I going to do? Oh, yeah, there it was. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, we won't be doing that again. We won't be doing that again. Okay. But I do like these two. I do like these two. And I like the way that they sort of go together with that. Let me get that Payne's gray back out there because I need that to be. So I've left. And I'm leaving a little, I actually am purposely leaving a little bit of splotchiness in these doorways just to give an idea that that is a shadow. And remember, once again, that this is going to dry a whole lot lighter than you're seeing it right this very second. But I want it to look like it's an interior, but it's not necessarily nighttime. So they don't need to be, they don't need to be lit windows. They just need to be, their windows. Okay, so now I need a little brown for my, actually, that's the wrong brown. I want the ginger brown. Where's my chocolate? And yes, absolutely. Like I said, this is really the to get out your if you don't happen to have real brush pens, but you've got the gel pens or or ink pens or anything like that. Get those babies out and give them a little there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be planned. Just have fun with it. Okay, so let's go with the rest of some more of the castle. All right, so now we want the more orangey one, which is the bubble gum pink, to the inside here. All right. Oops. Hang on. Moving stuff about. Because otherwise my hand is going to go all unsteady on you. No right way, no wrong way. Just make a story out of it. I wonder who lives in this castle. obviously it would be it's an enchanted castle. So perhaps there is and it's pink, right? It's pink and it's an enchanted castle. Is the focus still okay, guys? Even if I move it that close? I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. Just in case. See how really delicate the, I don't know what that is. Is that it looks like a something, but I don't know what. Like an upside down umbrella, maybe? I don't know. But I'm going to add this pink in here. Oops. And I'm leaving these bubbles. Because remember, this is the base coat. And I don't know what I want to do with those bricks yet. Make them a little bit darker or not do anything with them. Nah, they got to have something done with them. Because otherwise, why put them there? Just have smooth walls. Okay. And now this one can be, hang on one second while I'm not paying attention to chat. Just 1 second, Christine. Wait. I saw that Anne is taking another break, or not another break, but taking a break from YouTube, at least through the end of the month, which seems like a long time, but isn't when you really think about it. Given that it's already what, the 15th? Is it already the 15th? Yeah, it's already the 15th. That is just amazing. But still, that's 2 weeks away. On the one hand, I can hardly wait. I can hardly wait for this year to be over. And on the other hand, it seems like it's just flying by at a rocket speed, which is a very odd feeling because, there's like things that a lot of us want to have happen that won't happen until January. So on the one hand, you kind of want to rush it. And on the other hand, you're like, but wait a minute. What about Thanksgiving and Christmas? And has anybody else noticed? Yeah, I know. I know, Melinda, and bless her soul. She's just I just love Anne. I just love everything about Anne. From her, she's just a dear friend and I love her. There's just no getting around it. All right, so this is, okay, so now I want to go back to the pink here. Go there. I'm afraid that if I do this in this lighter pink that I might lose it if I use that Payne's Gray in the windows, but it does appear to be okay. Although I may, let's see, I may do this. Let's go with the, okay, this is the chocolate, right? So we want the chocolate definitely in the roof line. And what I'm doing here is I'm just sort of feathering it in from the edges. So I'm letting it touch and then just feather while pulling away. And that's creating this sort of lighter feathery area out here. And that's going to help the ginger highlight down the center of this thing sort of blend in a little more seamlessly. But yeah, I was listening to her video yesterday. Her retakes. I'm like, Anne, you're supposed to edit those out. But why would you do that? It's so much fun. So much fun to watch her reset. But yeah, her mom is older, and surgeries are a big deal. That's for absolute certain. Just, I know that, a lot of doctors are hesitant to put somebody that age under anesthesia. And I can tell you, heaven help the doctor that screws up caring for Anne's folks. Judging by the way that she somewhat forcefully got what she needed for her dad when he had pneumonia. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with this. And it was fun to be in Sammy's stream yesterday, watching her work in Serene. I did threaten to use inktints in Fantasia. My copy of Fantasia. Ooh. I'm a little blurry. Are you guys a little blurry? It's looking a little blurry to me. Is that a little better? Yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely the advocate you want on your side. Well, and that's just it. And you need to be with these doctors too, because they don't mean any harm. Once again, my experience with the medical system relates to them, treating my dad. And part of it is them, and the other part of it was him, in that, he did not tell us the truth about his condition. And he also didn't hear them when they told him the truth about his condition. So in my mind, he put himself through 33 radiation treatments that never ever had a chance of working. And so, he sort of tortured himself. And they let him. And that just sort of pisses me off all the way around. Okay. But on the other hand, you cannot tell somebody, to abandon all hope either. So I sort of always, I'm, constantly, all my views literally around medicine are around the care of my folks. And then my stepmother, when they treated her she had a series of little mini strokes, which resulted in severe senile dementia. And they'd put her on this medicine, and she'd end up in the hallway, walking up and down, crying. I mean, just break your heart, crying. And, and I finally, it's an anti-seizure medicine. And I just said, you know what? The seizure would be worth it. Not, this kind of quality of life, my goodness. No. No. Just no. She and I had that conversation. She never, ever wanted it to be like that, Okay. So just adding those little teeny tiny, a dot of color in there sort of gives depth to those curlicues. I don't know. Am I just, oh, well, yeah, it's just, well, it is what it is. And, he was whatever choice that he was going to make, he did it for my stepmother. He did it because he hadn't told us how bad she'd gotten, or how ill her health had gotten. And he covered it up big time. He was her hang on, I'm trying to find the right temperature for my coffee, and that 148 wasn't it. So we're going to try 155. He had covered up for her for years, and we actually didn't realize it, which gives you an idea of, how sort of out of touch all we kids were. And the thing about it is we all absolutely adored her. And we would have been there to help. But apparently it was a decision that they made together that they did not want to burden us. And I'm thinking, people need to stop thinking that way. Because when you love somebody, you're not a burden to them. They want to help you. You don't have to, you can't think in terms of, I don't want to be a burden. They're happy to, most of, well, I should say in my world, they would have been happy to care for you. I certainly know families that are not at all like that. So this really was, guys, this really was just an exercise, is just an exercise in just a couple of flat coloring. And I took sort of inspiration from the front of this book, and and the way that they've done um, just exactly that, just flat coloring, giving it a little bit of, with maybe 3 colors in that. Of course, their execution of it is a little better than mine, but this is new to me, and I'm just practicing. Okay, so now we're going to add some of that. And if you'll notice, I can, in fact, change topics just like that. All right, I do want to add a darker, maybe a darker pink. Maybe maybe, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's see if adding a little, let's see if adding just a little bit of this color on top of the color that is already there, because this is the other pink, right? So this is the more orange pink, operating on the basis. Okay. So now, in seeing that, maybe we can go here with a little wood on this base. Okay. So that's why it's not really changing the color so much as it is sort of adding to it. Well, hi, Cynthia. And I'm always looking in the background, but you're working on your. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And welcome to the channel. And actually, welcome and hello and all of those kind of good kudos to everybody who is here. That was my new friend Marcy. I was lamenting to her a little earlier today. I said, I don't know, Marcy. I said, my batteries are running pretty low. I'm not sure I can muster cheerful sunshine for everybody today, but then you guys just sort of bring it out in me, so yay. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you just play, guys. You just play. Play in your books. Have fun. This is the most fun I have all week because I'm sitting here playing. I'm playing and I'm visiting and I'm thinking, oh well, we'll do this. Maybe we could try that. What about that color? And this particular book, by the way, just in case you don't know, is Fabiano Atanasio. Finally, I say it right. Atanasio's Enchanted Castles that she did for the mythographic series. And there are links, my own Amazon links, to it and to these lovely Arteza brush pens, which I absolutely love. I have to admit, I really love these. And of course, these are the book is single-sided, by the way. And yes, they do bleed through. Water bleed, not alcohol bleed. But the pages, they take the water really well. A little splotchy, but otherwise it's pretty good. Okay, so now, let's see. Now we need that's the one in the series I passed on. I'm telling you what, Melinda, it is so pretty. If you haven't seen this book, it is really pretty. It's probably I now have two of them. The first one I've never colored in. This one I wanted to color in right away because I absolutely love it. There's one in here that I really, really want to do. Let me see where it is. This one. Oh, we'll probably. Now, let me go back to autofocus. I don't know, did it autofocus? Didn't look like it changed at all. And yeah, I love this one. I have to say, this one is my favorite one. I love this with the girl with her hair and the other girl. And it is literally another one, just like the other mythographic, where you end up, you just have to break it down. You break it down element by element and just start somewhere and then work your way out. Work your way out toward what it is that you want to do. I picked this one that day to start with because I wanted to do this sun, and I was thinking that those flowers would be really pretty in that color. And now I need to go back to, all right, so yeah, see how just adding the little bit of a splotch of color to those bricks actually is very cool. Let me, whoa. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want either. I think that's fairly good. Okay, so let me do this again because I realized that I forgot these. And of course, with these brush pens, they are, it's, I mean, it's not perfect as far as control goes. At least you obviously, if you were here coloring alone, you'd be right down on top of it. And of course, my eyes at this point in time are starting to get just a little bit blurry. I was proofreading a story earlier today for a friend, so okay, now that's what's next. Are these little windows? And once again, I'm not filling it in, not being fussy about filling in every little square area. I want it to actually be a little streaky because it's supposed to be windows, right? And windows, light or glass windows, thank you, would be a little streaky. Okay. Let's see. Now, do a little wood trim. Hang on a second, guys. I'm not looking at chat. I will in a sec. Excuse me. And I don't know, brown might not have been the right color, but it seemed like a good contrast with my pink. Go with the more orangey of the two. That little tie right there. And for this one up here. Okay. Now I can look at the thing. Okay. Let's see. So back to the colors that I've got, by the way, are the chocolate, the ginger, the bubble bath pink, the bubble gum pink, and the Payne's gray. So those are, seeing how the Payne's gray is turning out purple over the pink like that? That's exactly what I wanted because that's the right color shadow for an interior area. And then without the pink underneath, it's the actual gray of the glass. So that's sounding like a plan, like I did it on purpose, right? Trust me, it was not that intentional. All right, now let's do this again. Just coming in from the corner. Just feathering out that edge. Same thing on this side. It's the same technique that you use with markers. Okay. Then you can use the lighter and sort of connect the two. I don't know what all these little bubble things are. I could go over them, or I could, you know, they could eventually be just, you know, little pink. Oh, I know. We could, oh, I know. We'll end up using an iridescent on them. Okay. They'll be pink, light. They'll be light gray, but they'll be iridescent. All right. That'll work. All right. Now, all right, so there's one more tower here. So if I can continue on in the same way, right, up the other side, I do want to revisit just a little bit. These very cool flowers, and I don't remember the colors that we used. I think I'm gonna guess. I think I used the cad orange and the bumblebee yellow. I'm pretty sure I did. All right, so let's see here if we can. It was either the cadmium orange or the orange. Maybe if I just go with the orange and the bumblebee yellow. I just, you know, when you get to coloring something like this and you kind of are bored with coloring one thing, you don't have to, you know, like finish that thing. You can move on to something else and then you go back to it. Wait. All right, so there's the bumblebee yellow. So this is the bumblebee yellow and the orange. And so I just want to sort of come up from the base in the dark areas. Okay. And whoops, is my hand right in the way? Of course it would be. My apologies. Just areas that would seem to be the darkest. And it could be that that I picked the wrong orange. But yeah, I love these brush pens. They're very versatile. I mean, you could do traditional watercolor, you know, painting with them, but you can also use them to some, you know, pretty good effect in your coloring books. And if you are like me and you really enjoy using water mediums, I love my pencils, but I love my water. And there's just no reason why you can't use it in these books. You don't put enough water down on the page to warp it or, you know, do anything like that. Even in my Amazon books, I have very little warpage because these pens just don't use that much. And so you end up with beautifully blended, you know, yellow flowers. Once again, nobody is talking. I have put you all to sleep. You're all just enjoying a nice nap. I could sing you lullabies. No, 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 I'd better not do that because then you would run screaming nightmares around the room. Actually, I love coloring these kinds of flowers. It's just very zen. I love the way they turn out because you're just throwing a little color down. It's like, and you know who I learned this from? This sort of throwing just a little color down is Ellen Crimmy Trent. You know, she is an artist, a watercolor artist, and she's a hoot as far as she's I don't know where she's from, New Jersey, New York, some Boston. I don't know. She got a very distinctive accent though, and I want to say it's either New York or New Jersey, and although I'm sure that a native New Yorker and a native New Jerseyan would probably cringe at me for saying that. But she really is very loose and very casual with the way that she watercolors. And yet her work is always beautiful. And so she's just, it just doesn't, it's like, it doesn't have to be one particular way. That this particular color has to extend from here to here to give it the right, dynamic or whatever. Hello, Kenny. Lovely to see you, my dear. Okay, so 154 isn't it? Let's try 159. We're getting closer. Does anybody know what the right temperature for coffee is? Is it like 165? Seems awfully hot. But let's see here. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way our stonework turned out as well. A little bit. It still needs some work. All right, now here's an example of where you could actually enhance with some pencils. You could, like your stonework and stuff like that, you could actually go in there with colored pencils and you can actually do that with any of these. Ooh. Ow, that hurts. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I caught something in my rib. Okay. Oh, wait, that sounds promising. All right, I have no idea why it holds. It's I have no idea why it holds your comments, Kathy. Not all of them, just some. Maybe does the brown heart have some sort of weird meaning in emoji speak? Well, and there you go, and there's the answer to your question. Oh, heck yes, Yeah, we can always pull it out. Okay, so um, now the problem, of course, is that I I I just don't use my pencils enough to really have a clue. Like Sammy can tell you, this is the right pencil for what you want. This is exactly the right color to enhance, the right shadow color. I, on the other hand, am like, well, we could try this because I don't really, I'm just not familiar enough with my pencils. Um, but you see what I mean as far as, like for instance, this is, I figure it'd be kind of hard to go wrong with the sepia, right? So that's what I've got in my hand. Um, Plus sepia is easily undone. So you could add little bits and bobs with your pencils if you wanted to, and I will. I mean, I will definitely go over this. I am a big believer in. Well, hi Susan. It's fancy you show up just as we mentioned, just as we mentioned Sammy. I was mentioning that Sammy could tell me exactly the right color to use to blend or enhance this, and I'm sort of winging it. But I figured that as long as I've got the sepia and the espresso are two colors that I know just work for pretty much everything. So I know that I'm safe with those um, for my shadows. So you can, I mean, that's the point is you can do that. I could also, let's see, yeah. The artichoke is another one that works, as does mushroom is another. I'm going to call it mushroom. I don't know if that's exactly quite right. The the grays, obviously all of the grays you could use. Um, hmm, pencils. Pencils have a decided scent. Um, Trying to figure out the purple. What I want is the paint. There it is. I don't know if this will work or not. Okay, so if I do that, and then I do something along the lines of, don't know if this will work or not. Oh, thank you, Kenny. It's really an experiment in. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay, that just sort of eliminated that. Well, almost eliminated it, but it left a nice little shadow there. Okay, wait. We could actually work with that. Let's try that again. Um, so what I did is I laid a little bit of the Payne's Gray down. And then I'm just adding a little bit of the rose pink over the bubble gum, and it, you know, it sort of pulls that shadow a little bit, which is nice. Okay, so that'll work. Tenderful Enchantments. I almost pulled out Flora today. I know that yours is Clara Markova. Um, Coloring in Forest Girl. Ooh. Forest Girl is so pretty. Girl with Poem, all of those. Those have always, because they're only available through Etsy. They never, they never make my lists. So, which is fine because I have plenty of coloring books to color in. Um, all right, so let's do some leaves here. So anyway, so yes, you can pull out your pencils. If you don't have Prismacolors, pull out the pencils that you do have, because any of those is going to be fine. If you wanted to do, a little enhancing with gel pens, you could do that. I do have the Color It gel pens down here. Whoops. I don't know where the sepia goes. It goes in the empty slot. Christine, where's the empty slot? I don't have one. I don't have an empty slot. Okay, we'll add that there. Stack behind. All right, so now let's go with, trying to pull some greens. And I'm liking I want to, ooh, boy, that's hard, isn't it? Because I want a better contrast. I'm not happy with this green, for one thing. I want it to be a little bit darker of a green. So how about I just go with green? 179. Let's try 179. Green. We had now I'm barely touching the tip down. And I'm trying to almost make it a little bit streaky. So that it looks, I'm using a little short strokes so that it actually looks a little bit like grass, leaving that dark or the lighter color behind it, right? So that could do that. Yes, it's beautiful. Okay, yes, that is exactly what I wanted. It's exactly the right color. I'm not sure if these are bushes in the foreground set back here, or if they are This needs to be something darker. Although maybe not. Man, I'm telling you what, the wind is howling outside. It is howling through the trees. An hour difference still. Well, it is currently 3:39 here, Susan. So I think that we switched back on, oh, I don't remember what day it was. The clocks now, of course, I, like so many people, rely on the computer clock or the clock on my phone, and it does it automatically. So I haven't actually had to set a clock other than the car clock, which, it gets looked at so rarely, and the clock on the microwave. Now, wind is on its way. It's there for right now, Kathy. Yeah, I've heard that it is. I had completely forgotten about the additional time difference. But yeah, it's 3:39 here right now. We're actually not doing too badly today as far as getting something done. So how do you like this, guys, that I'm actually, like continuing to work on stuff that we start? Or would you rather just have me switch around, different books just with different products and techniques? Because really I'm really sort of here, not only, of course, to sell you my own art when I finally managed to come up with some new art. Um, and to all of you who have been so, so wonderful in supporting my Etsy shop. Thank you very much. It truly is. It truly is a lifesaver. Yeah. So just just once again, just adding these little short strokes, and if you leave little lightness behind, it just helps to make it look more like natural grass. So say I. I hope it works. I hope that's what. And this was the experiment where we were trying to see how light could we get that color. How light could we get that green? And even if you just do this, you're just tapping like pointillism. That's a great way to do grass with a marker. It's just those little short with all sorts of different colors. I start with a base of a light color, and then put some of this, and then even if you wanted to, you could put just a few little dots of something even darker. You know what I mean? For yet more of an effect. So even if you went to, say, an emerald green, which is the 61, that's the pine green, that's going to be too blue. The emerald green. Yeah. So, not a lot, but just a few. Maybe sort of down in the depths of the shadows. And even if what you've got is not grass, but if it's some sort of a leafy bush type thing, having a little bit of the darkness in there also would work for that. I don't want to do too much of it in the foreground, but just that little tiny bit, sort of when it dries, it'll give the effect of little blades of grass. Because after all, grass is about a gajillion different colors when you actually look at it. Okay. And that gives a much better, because I want to use I want to use more of a leaf type green, and I don't know that it'll actually work, but we'll give it a try. So we'll take a olive. No, yeah. We'll take an olive green, an acid green, and a pea green. No, an olive green, an acid green, and a hang on, I'm trying to decide. I know I want the acid green. I know I want the olive green, but what's the in between? Can't be the crocodile. It just doesn't work. Let's try the lime green. No, let's try the pea green. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that should be. There's the, okay, the olive green. Is this the pea green? Yep, and is this the acid green? Yep, okay. All right, so I want to start with my darkest first, which is my olive green. And I'm going to start down here. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Boy, that is some absorbent paper. It is just drinking that right up. Okay, so we'll just do that little bunch right there. Then we're going to take the acid green. Now this is a decidedly lighter green. And then we're also going to take the pea green and maybe just do interior edges. Just sort of streak them up. Okay, and let's see. Go with the, once again, with the acid green. In the lightest part. So you want your darkest shade where it's coming out from under something, where it might be catching a little shadow and all of that. And then your middle shade, you can just pretty much put a lot of different places and just leave your, and if in the end, as long as you're just picking out a few things here and there, if they're not perfect, you don't have to worry about it, because when you look at a field of leaves and such like that, they are just all over the place as far as color, where exactly it is. You've got things that like there's always going to be a dark side of a stem. But it does, technically it matters from what area, what direction the light is coming as to where that dark side is. But when you're, coloring something that's mottled and confusing, that the eye is not going to pick out every little brush stroke, but some shading is better than no shading. You don't have to have either. Now, there's also little stamens that are in there in each of these, which we could choose to put in. We could maybe choose a let's choose an autumn red. Boy, this is one of those things that you just you just want to do maybe one or two and literally hold your breath, because that's a dark color. So you don't want to slip. Although if you did, it would just be the magic of art. There we go. So you can add those, just the little bits of detail. Yeah, it's the shading is really what it's all about. Because this is up on a hill. Given that there's a bridge here and that this castle is in the distance, these are up here on a hill. These are in the foreground. And so you are seeing these at a much larger scale than you are this, castle. And so if you do a little bit of shading in there, it sort of helps to emphasize that. But you don't have to. You don't have, we do spend a lot of time catering to those that do not want to, want to do shading, don't want to learn shading, and that's perfectly fine. Absolutely perfectly fine. But if you do want to do it, remember that it doesn't have to be perfect. So take that pressure off yourself. And you'll find that you mull as you're sitting in a I don't know, in a coffee shop or in a, in a bus station or wherever it is that you're sitting, uh, and you find that you'll be studying shadows. Where is the shadow? What colors do I actually see? It's amazing when you start thinking in terms like that. Like, for instance, there could be light coming. Of course, that's the wrong light source right there. But there could be light that cast a harsh shadow right there. Anyway, um, wait. Kenny, I told Abby today I should make some bread. Both when she mentioned it didn't. Bread is my downfall. There is nothing better than bread. Um, yeah, I am a bread freak. Oh, speaking of bread freaks, oh my goodness. So I had gone to the grocery store earlier this week, and I bought a chicken, and a rotisserie chicken, and I like the rotisserie chicken because I can eat a leg and a thigh for dinner one night, a leg and a thigh for dinner the other night, and have the two breasts for sandwiches all week, right? And and so I'm I these things barely ever make it in the door before I got the chicken open and I'm wolfing it down because I just love that that just brought home from the store rotisserie chicken. I don't even bother to make the side dishes. I just eat the chicken, then I make the side dishes. So I'm not paying any attention at all to what the cat is doing. But she's down there in one of the bags on the floor. And she's like shoulder deep in the bag and she's not coming out. She likes plastic bags. So she goes and she'll stake one out and smell it and do all of that. She's shoulder deep in the bag eating the loaf of bread. Eating the loaf of bread. She tore through the plastic and she's eating the freaking loaf of bread. I'm like, are you crazy? There's chicken. And I was just, I was just, I don't know, maybe because she thought it was the chicken. It wasn't in the same bag. Um, I, I, I was just like floored. She's literally, I mean, it's a ciabatta roll, right? I say a loaf of bread, but it's a ciabatta roll. There's four of them in the package. And yeah, she's eating the top out of the ciabatta pack. Uh, I just laughed and laughed until I couldn't laugh anymore. I thought, you are just a nut. Of course, this is the same cat that likes, she likes, well, she likes anything if it comes out of my hand. And so she actually, she'll eat a tangerine. And I've got, apparently it does not like that brown heart. Kathy, it does not like those brown things. It holds every single one of those. Um, oh my goodness. And yes, it must go well with the watercolor water. Exactly, Louise. And that was the other thing. This was sitting on my desk, right? From last week, I had completely set it aside in the corner with the brush in it, and not even thought about it. And the cat tipped it over. That's how come I remembered it was there, because she was drinking out of it, and so she tipped it over. And she does that. She's got freshwater bowls. She's got access to running water, and she drinks the watercolor water. Oh, she's crazy. That's just all there is to it. She's just a cuckoo cat. Goes with a milk bag as soon as you get home from the store. And, there was milk. Yeah, she doesn't actually get milk. But she does like bread, I have to admit. She loves bread. She especially loves butter. She loves cheese. I eat a lot of, because because it's easy, I eat a lot of sandwiches. And I admit that, especially if I make a stew or something like that, I have gotten into the very bad habit of letting her lick the bowl, when I'm done. And I know I shouldn't, but, it's just her and me, and I'm allowed to spoil her if I want to. But it really did sort of like make me crazy that she went for the went for the bread like that. Okay, so what did we learn today? We learned a couple of things. We learned that, one, that I really screwed up the shading on these roofs that I did before, but I got much better at it in today's round. So I'm liking, with these brush pens, I am liking the sort of starting from the side and brushing in, and then the joining of the two sides. So we like that. I like that. I like the way that these turned out with the slightly different pinks. Happy accident. I like the simplicity of just the two colors, in the castle, and then of course the contrasting color for the windows. So I like that. I like the fact that I was able to recover this sort of grassy area, and maybe discover just a little way to make it kind of bushy. We know that we can use our pencils to great effect to enhance our water. I will say that it does make the pencil feel a little weird on this paper, to use a wax pencil over the water that's been on this paper. But, it'd be interesting to color one entirely with pencils and see what the difference was. Because the paper, of course, water kind of breaks down the fiber of paper just a little bit. And so it could be that that's what I was feeling, but it felt weird. And of course, it's shiny, like adding something shiny to something that's completely flat. Black color. I love, as this is what, the third or fourth time that I've used these. I'm liking them more and more every time I pick them up. So I'm going to give the Real brush pens a pretty high recommend if you are a water medium person looking for the convenience of this kind of thing. You know, I really like it. I, of course, love this book, and I look forward to continuing this page. Won't be today, but it will be later on. They do, Mona. Excuse me. They do just a little bit. Not this up here was more a was more an issue with the fact that I just saturated the page that day. But this is what they did today. So not bad. They just sort of spot it. But that's what this is for. All right. So it does seem like right on cue. My airways are going to shut down. So just relax. So thank you very, very much, everybody. Hang on. Oh, man. Oh, please relax them. Thank you. So, thank you all for joining me today. It's been a very good time for me. I hope you've had a good time too. And until we meet again, everybody, color something pretty. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderators. Thank you to all the guests. Thanks to everyone for a lovely week. Go out, have a wonderful week. Be safe.